The future of education is intertwined with the future of technology. Audiovisual devices have changed how we teach, how we learn, and created a whole subculture of students. This is a brief history of the AV nerd. The proto-V-nerd was born in 1870 with the audioless Magic Lantern, which could project simple images onto classroom walls. The next generation would have their minds blown in 1905, as a stereoscope was brought in to add a third dimension to the learning experience. The A part of the AV nerd remained elusive, until radio came into play. In 1920, textbooks of the air were going to transform classrooms by broadcasting educational programs across the country. 5 years later, the marriage of audio and video was finally consummated. With the introduction of the film projector to the classroom, 1925 is the year that the modern AV nerd was born. Unfortunately, the Depression would delay the adoption of the technology into classrooms nationwide. In the meantime, the overhead projector would have to suffice. These workhorses spent more than 50 years killing the blackboard by turning simple transparent sheets of plastic into enlarged lessons for the world to see. But in the 1950s, the film projector finally became a ubiquitous part of the classroom and ushered in the golden age of the AV nerd.
Penetrating eye.
It became their sacred duty to run the projectors and protect the thousands of hours of educational films produced. Hedging their technological bets, in 1958 a television was placed upon a cart and wheeled into the classroom, making live broadcasts available to students. Windows into history were now available, although dark tales of distracted AV nerds being crushed beneath the new teaching tools abounded. In 1980, the world of the AV nerd would forever be altered with the advent of the personal computer. What was once a passive experience suddenly became an interactive wonderland, and millions of students would now know what life on the Oregon Trail was like firsthand. In the 90s, the promise of the personal computer was realized with the introduction of the internet to the classroom. At this point, the language of the classroom began to change. Libraries gave way to computer labs, desktops were now for laptops, and then in 2010, the iPad was introduced. A digital version of the school slate, it's changed the very economics of the classroom by combining all of the previous technologies into one highly accessible package. That accessibility has made AV nerds of us all. This has been a brief history of the AV nerd. Class dismissed.